Recently, I spoke with a psychologist who gave me some insight in understanding of people. And it's something that I never heard of before. Now, it's called your focal lotus point.
As a child, I never liked to read a lot. Ask anybody about me. Oh, you get notes in my book all kind of figure about atrocious this and whatnot. I like to talk, but I don't like to read. Now you have to fall on Buss's face. Then he learn how to
Who
type.
don't hear must feel, eh?
People have to.
Some people have to bust their face first before they check themselves.
Grown Folks Only Podcast.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Grown Folks Only Podcast. Today's episode, we are being very reflective, retrospective of the year, what we've been through, how we've seen it, and maybe a New Year's resolution of what we would like for 2026. We'd like to send season greetings to everyone, and I'll start with the panel. So I will start with you. In terms of how 2025 has been for you, and maybe give some advice to a younger version of yourself, a younger man, relationship-wise, whatever. What has stood out to you the most for 2025?
That's something I never really thought about. You know, I've learned a lot as far as finances in 2025. I've never been somebody to balance finances, but I've always been financially conscious, and I think 2025 made me even more conscious about finances. And if I were to give my younger self some kind of advice, it'd be like, save more, spend less. You know, that's the only thing. If I could have gone back in time, I'll tell myself to do. But 2025, whew, this year, it's been great. It's been a great year. That's all I can say right now.
Jason, over to you and those fabulous reindeer glasses.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas, yo. 2025 was a special year for me. It was one of a saying I would like to say, no good sailor is made on smooth waters. So it was quite a challenge. I got to test my abilities, and luckily I showed a present. So here we are celebrating. In reflection, let's have a cheers.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Where your glass and cup?
It's over there.
Yeah, I always love to jump into the unknown, so this was definitely a year of fruition for me. Relinquish.
So this year, I learned that I had to be patient. A lot of good things and bad things. Well, I wouldn't really say bad.
Patience,
I
you
guess
say?
I guess they would have to write off my case. Eh? I guess they would have to I wouldn't really say it's bad things, but maybe things didn't happen as we might have planned it to, right? And so I had to understand or learn the lesson of things don't always go to plan. And sometimes it happens the way it's supposed to. Or, you know, just to be patient and everything would work out eventually. So that was one thing that I learned for this year. I was very frustrated in the first half of the year, to be very honest, because anyways, that's a whole next topic for another day. But that's one. And two, we need to make more memories and experiences rather than just focusing on work, and make money. Like, you have to remember to take time out for yourself. And I mean, my family does always laugh after me and be like, oh, you know, like, Femi, you so bougie, or you always trying to, like, you know, spend money on different things. But I like comfort. I spend money on what's comfortable to me. So instead of taking the train to go to another place, I would quicker fly and get more time to spend in that place, you know? So my sisters always make fun of me about that, but such is life. Point is I'm out here to die with memories and not dreams. So that's what I learned this year, and that's what I'm gonna focus on.
You got a cheerleader in the audience.
I try not to make this too long, but this year has taught me 3 things. 1, keep moving. 2, be genuine. And 3, understand what you're doing and where you're going through. So I'll break it down for you is that I've noticed, and some of these scenarios are not of my life, but surrounding lives, is that people tend to misconstrue what the meaning of family and friend is. The saying people say is like blood is thicker than water kind of goes a little deep because you are related does not mean you're a family. You could have friends. People that have been in your life for 2 years can become more family to you than people have been in your life from since you were kids. Keep moving in the sense that you will get setbacks. Things will happen. Things will throw you down. But like all the sayings you see tell you, it's not the amount of times you fall, it's the amount of times you get up and you keep moving forward and understanding that finding your dreams means going through it. You're not going to get out of it until you get to the other side of it. And I've had a few people that I know lose hope, maybe stall or stop. But we have to understand that also our past does not predict our future. So some people who may have had sketchy lives have to understand that who you were before does not necessarily mean you don't allow that life in the future. So you have to understand, treat people with respect, be genuine, don't be dishonest, try to be straightforward, speak your mind, but with respect. And maybe 2026 will be a better year for you. Jason, you have anything to add? I hear your brain spinning.
Yeah, my brain was just spinning there. You know what I learned this year? Don't get mad, just get even.
Why that sound Grinch-like?
It's not grinchy at all.
You should be Santa's helper at the moment to be in a reindeer. You need to be wearing a Grinch t-shirt right now.
No, sometimes.
Get even.
Yeah, get even. Learn.
You can get even in a smart way, but is it really getting even though? It's just giving them what they're
out
owed.
here really trying to push people getting even.
Well, that's what I'm trying to die down. It's not really getting even. Is it what they truly deserve?
Carol, people has been testing me. And I am going to pass that test every goddamn time. So when you see you doing certain things, people watching you and figure you push over because you're not looking like your vex. But I am still that same person. I just learned that huffing and puffing, I'm like, it doesn't get you anywhere. So you have to figure out who to call. Sometimes it's your lawyer. Sometimes it's
The guy
a police friend.
Oh, so in that instance, you mean get even in that way. Gotcha.
No, I mean figure out. Figure out what
Work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
Gotcha,
You don't waste energy running behind the person and talking about it. You just chill in your corner like Carol will do and
Yeah.
let your actions speak for you. Simple as that.
I'll actually cheers to that. That's a vibe.
Now, that also goes back to something I want to add quickly is in the last episode we spoke about, and I mentioned that I find that the spirit or the energy or the vibration of Christmas has transitioned into a consumeristic ideology. But why is it that, one, we always have to wait to certain times of the year to show love to people? It should be something that we do all year round. It shouldn't be a special occasion. Because I've heard people talk about the hypocrisy of family members and friends where you don't speak for the entire year. But the minute the family dinner is, everybody's, oh, I haven't seen you in the whole year. And then you have to just smile and be thing and then turn around and say, but you pass me straight all the time. That goes back to my genuine. If you don't like someone, you tell them you don't like someone. If you don't want to be with someone, you tell them you don't want to be with someone.
They know I don't like them.
Energies attract. Energies. When you hold on to anger and resentment and certain things, it does not affect the person, it affects you. And I've seen people fall and lose their lives and whatnot because they've kept anxiety, animosity, hatred, revenge in themselves for people that are probably not even noticing them. Live and let go. Move on. Everybody that does anything, good or bad, it comes back to them. Just remember that.
See,
So karma is a
me
full
on the
circle.
other hand, if I don't like you, you know I don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even say it. You see it in my face. I don't like you. She'll tell you, I don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
But going back, looking back, like you said, live and let live or live and let learn. The prayer of sincerity, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know it off the top of my head, but grant me the patience to deal with the things I can deal with and the understanding.
Understanding.
You know the difference.
You
know the
get where I'm going with
difference.
this.
To accept the things that
That's
can change.
what I've been living life in 2025, and that has gotten me through a lot of things. Like there's certain times where I was just, I can use my wife for example. I would tell you a story. She don't know it, but she knows it very well. My wife came up to me and she says,
Grab a knife.
Yes.
she came up, she comes. So let me give you a backstory. I bought a truck that I've always wanted. And let's go back 6-7 years. And I brought that a truck similar to that to her. And she said, no, that's too big. It's too expensive. I can't drive that truck. And then earlier this year, she comes up to me. She says, I want a G-Wagon. I looked at her like,
Hot wheels.
and like everything inside of me was like, shut up. Don't say nothing. Just shut up. She brings out 2 knives, right? She says, shut up. I say, okay, I'm gonna take you car shopping. We plan to go to Mercedes, Porsche, and I think it was an Audi dealership, but we never made it. We only made it to the Mercedes dealership. And we got there, and she
Went the wrong way around.
yeah. We got there, she fell in love with this other vehicle, a GLX, a GLE, or what's it? Anyways,
It's a GLX.
she got her vehicle, right? AMG and everything. She got her vehicle. She
The
didn't get a
AMG?
G-Wagon, right?
Nice.
Next day I came up to her, hey. She looks at me. I got my truck. I got my truck. Just because I shut up. Because usually I would afford her and that. Like, you want a Mercedes?
Mm-hmm.
A G-Wagon?
Mm-hmm.
But we can afford it. No.
Sometimes it's good to play chess.
Yes. Well, I wasn't playing chess. I was being more, a
Strategic.
smart person knows what to say. A wise person knows when to say it. And, the grade came in, so I had a little bit of wisdom coming. So, yeah, this year I learned how to fight my winning battles and not fight, uphill losing battle.
I like that prayer. So let me recite it just like the way good brother 50 Cent taught me it in that song. Gotta make it to heaven. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can and cannot change and help me know the difference. In AA, they make you say that. That's the prayer they burn in your head when you get case. That's a nice prayer. That's what I mean. Don't get mad, get even.
All right, so I like the surface-based introspection thus far, right? But we had 12 months or nearly 365 days of trials, tribulations, successes, right? If you had to pinpoint, and failures, if you had to pinpoint the one that stood out in terms of the triumph, what would be that triumph for that year for you? What would be that thing that said, okay, you know what, 2025 was a good year? What would be that for you?
Oh, that would be tonight for me. That would definitely be tonight for
Sounds a
me.
bit personal. For me, it's something very, very simple. Being able to change gears again. Sometimes you go through life and you switch gears to go faster and faster, and sometimes you get stuck in a gear. It's difficult to change. For me, it was me finally getting out and changing another gear and keep moving forward. That was just simple it for me. I've learned that stress is one of the biggest killers that goes around, especially for men. And having the mentality to understand that exactly how the Serenity Prayer says, you speak discernment in your life. And I've reached the point the last 3 years, but like this year was like, this is a problem. Can I solve it? No. Put it on the back burner, move on. I'll either be able to solve it, I'm just gonna have to leave it alone and stop worrying about it, stop thinking what should I, could I, maybe I would have. And that, like I said, being able to switch gear and keep moving was the best thing for me.
I would have to say believing in myself. I keep talking about doing different things and I have all these ideas. And this year was the year where I finally like, instead of just lived in my head, I actually like made advances to attempt to try doing stuff. Look at us. We're on this podcast. This is something I always wanted to do, be on a podcast or, take my questions of the day that I used to do on Facebook from a Facebook commenting platform to live conversations about different topics. From me talking about all my HR experience and like the ideas that I have for the labor work, like persons who work in the workforce and actual employees more than the employers, because I find that like employers only hire HR people for the sake of being that interim person to discuss between what they want and what the employee, and to communicate that in a way that won't come across as bad to the employees without taking into account the employees' feelings and their wants and whatever. So I focused a little idea that I had, and I tried to make it into something. So I made strides this year. Instead of living in my head, I put pen to paper and I physically did something about it. Like I started my whole momentum of the thing. It's not been published as yet, but at least I started. And that's something I've been wanting to do for a while. So it's just nice that I'm finally believing in myself, Instead of, I'm always believing in other people and I need to think about myself sometimes too. So I would say that's one of the biggest things for me for this year.
All right. The biggest thing for me this year was to try and get out of my own head, mind over mind. I read 2 good books this year. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle and The New Earth also by Eckhart Tolle. Now, these books are scary because it challenge the very basis of your consciousness and human nature. And I could understand why people would say, boy, if you read some of them books, you'll go off because it can flip some ideas you had in your head upside down. Challenges for the year, definitely, like Femi said, was I don't do some like a little repetitive and thing, but believing in yourself. And sometimes understanding that people around you might know you better than you know yourself because you don't know what you look like when you're not looking. And I'm going to go back to that prayer about grant me the serenity to accept the things I can and cannot change. Sometimes the persons around you telling you exactly how they think about you. You just don't want to listen to them. So I've learned to just be at peace with what I see from people and not try and pretend it's not that I'm seeing from them. Yep, you move on. Just like that. That's it for me.
The way you look at me, I feel like you put me in a spot. And now I know you read 2 good books, so I'll probably be getting one in the mail, right?
Yeah, well, I usually pass my books off.
Usually when he reads a book, it's like, here you go, you need to read this.
Yeah,
read
I
a
just
book.
posted it to him on Amazon.
I won't read a book unless he gives it to me. So, wow. I've learned a lot, and I could talk about this from today till tomorrow, but one thing, again, we're going to sound repetitive, is believe in yourself. I am not diagnosed with ADD, but sometimes it feels like I got ADD because I'm all over the place with thoughts and ideas. Like my wife would tell you, I'll go up to her, hey, why don't we do this? Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? She's like, not everything you do has to be a business. So I just trust me, I'm always thinking.
Now she hasn't asked people.
Yeah.
You know.
My friends have been looking at me like, boy, you always on your hustle. You always trying to make money. Damn right, I'm trying to make some money. You know, that's
Dollar's
why
a
I
dollar.
said exactly. That's why I said this year I think I've been a little bit more. I educated myself a little bit more about finances. Learned a few things, but this year, I think in the middle of the year, we had an add-on to our business. My wife and I own multiple small business, but we had an add-on, a U-Haul moving truck business or rental truck business, and that has taught me a lot as far as customer service and everything. So that's like one of my highlights of the year. That's my personal highlight. I mean, there are other highlights, but there's that personal highlights there. I was able to start something from the ground. I'm bringing up, and in the region, we are number 1. So,
Nice.
Nice.
you know, I was 5 out of 5 until yesterday, I think, something like that. But
All right. Well, I'll take a 30 seconds on my end. For me, I think the biggest lesson is be intentional. Be intentional irrespective of. Just be intentional. And make yourself an asset. In whatever you do, no whether or not it's no money involved, make sure at the end of the day, it converts into some form of an asset. So an asset to somebody, an asset to a business, an asset in general. And I think some of us, we do understand what it means to be an asset. Being kind, saying a kind word, helping somebody out. You could also make yourself an asset for that thing. Because you never know where the next good favor will come from. You understand? Sometimes, I end up getting to be working on a big bus. On a big bus somewhere, I might get an opportunity to film it, or have a podcast outside the bus, But I think for me, every month, irrespective of challenges, was a step in the right direction. And I always tell people, if you reflect upon your year and you do not feel that you move closer or you've made progress compared to the year previous, then you're doing something wrong. So I think for me, just being intentional. Being intentional is the most important thing that I have gotten from this year. And with that, let the chips fall where they may. But just be intentional. All right, so let's take it. Let's go in. We are a little bit very passive and so let's
not Lucian. I
Yeah.
want to share.
Recently, I spoke with a psychologist who gave me some insight in understanding of people. And it's something that I never heard of before. Now, it's called your focal lotus point. It basically states that it's either internal or external and can go either way. So if you're someone who has an external focal locus point, you know what I meant? It means that things outside, what people think about you, what happens to you, events around you, shape who you are and what you're going through emotionally. Now, it can be a good or bad thing. There are people who are internal, who the same way, nothing external shifts them except for themselves and can go good or bad. So if you're someone who was on the positive end and you have good self-esteem, people's opinions of you doesn't matter, shit rolls off your back, that means your internal focal point is good. If you're someone who's external, and like I said, people's opinions, you stub your toe and the rest of your day is bad or whatever it is, that means your external focal lotus point is negative and it affects you. Now, she says, you don't have to change if it's internal or external. You just have to change how it affects you and how you receive it. And it makes it a lot easier to understand that 99% of the time, people don't think about you. 99% of the time, what you think people are thinking of about you, they aren't. They don't even remember the situation that you might be thinking of 10 years ago that might be embarrassing or angry about. If you actually sit down and ask, you'll be surprised. All of them be like, what? I don't remember. When did that happen? No, I don't remember that. And it makes you change your view on us being our worst critics of ourselves. So look within before the new year, see if any of that resonates with you and try to correct it and start the new year with a different mindset. And hopefully when 2027 hits, you'll be in a better position.
So where you want to be at next year? Something like this.
Making money.
Okay.
Aren't you already doing
I
that?
have plans
No,
put
but-
in place. The seeds have hatched. So right now it's time to fertilize, water, watch grow, and hopefully I can get more fruit out of that.
Okay.
So
I like the analogy.
I didn't know you had seeds, but
2026, I want to
when
make
I go, people
babies.
say,
You want what?
I want to make babies.
you have plans, man.
All the time. I say, yeah, we have to
I
plant
was
this
going
seed.
to say something.
Don't say anything, huh?
you see what you see.
Let's
I
make
go
babies,
keep
man.
quiet.
I'm sure you have to make babies.
You know, he have a grandfather. We were talking about him. If you all didn't know,
What do you say? He is a grandfather?
No, what I'm trying to say is, if you didn't know, me and this guy right here are cousins. And I'm gonna tell you a story about our grandfather. Our grandfather has 3 sets of children. And we all thought that he had one set, then another set, then another set, right? It all went in some kind of order. It's not till of late we started realizing he had one auntie or one child with one woman, and then another child with this woman, and then he went back and had a child of that woman and came back. So we think, like, if you look at the ages, when one woman was pregnant and he couldn't get it, he went somewhere else and get it, and just kept on having kids like that.
The traveling salesman, boy.
He went from St. Lucia to Guyana, so he was traveling.
Wait. So he's originally St. Lucian? Or
He's St. Lucia.
He had 2 sets of children here and he had a 3rd set in Guyana.
Yes.
All right.
So
So he was working in the mines.
no, he was on
He was digging something else.
he worked on a bridge. Right? They were building a bridge in Guyana. Now,
One bridgeman building must have a whole family in Guyana.
Yeah, he had to keep
Now-
warm.
Bridge between Guyana and St. Lucia. You know
now
what
listen,
that?
listen. Look. That's a bad man right there, you know. That's all I'm gonna leave it at. So if he say he making kids, listen to him. He making them.
Now, well, for me, I always tell people that I'm not big on the resolutions. And that's not something that's always been there. It's something over after a while you recognize, because at no point in time did you stop living. So to decide that at the end of a 365, you're going to do something different or change or start a new beginning, I think that's a mistake we make. So as opposed to making a resolution, right? I think it's better that we create what I will call milestones, or try to see how we could milestone our lives. You get me? And then we have our delinquent in the background. Thursday, kids. How you doing, sweetheart? It's so funny.
Make sure you get a sneak it in.
Hi, Kay.
And she works in front of you.
Hi.
So resolutions, I don't think we should have them. I don't know what your take is on it. I personally believe in milestones and creating a good trajectory as to from where you are, realistically thinking of where you are, and how you're going to be a better person, not just in the next 365, but the next day.
Before you continue, the thing about resolutions is the concept of it. The same thing as a resolution and a milestone is that people expect, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and get fit. They start January, they start February.
They reach
okay,
carnival
March,
and then they're done.
April, they don't go. May, they don't go, and they lose hope and they just never go again. But what they don't understand is, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter. If you don't go March, you don't go April, start back in June. Keep going. It's the consistency that will eventually, it won't happen in the year. But 3 years down the line, you realize your body is telling you, I need to go to the gym. So the same things of resolutions is the patience to see it through, even if you just don't feel like it. Sometimes you can say, take a break. Sometimes I just don't feel like it. I'm tired, whatever it is. But don't lose hope just because you fall short once in a while.
Okay, before you go, just pass and make sure you say hello to your people. All right, go. Go ahead.
I was going to do that.
Yeah, make sure you pass around.
Okay, that's possible for you.
No, no, don't,
I just don't want you to.
don't let them see your bum. Don't let them see your bum. Don't let them see your bum. So come across and your audience, you have to come and tell hello. Go across. Go around. You give the people endless kind of, what they call that again? Full moon.
Booty shot.
Hi.
Hey, why you not staying tonight?
Hello, don't put me on black like that. He's a sweetie.
I've been here for 3 months, so I have to come back, put you on black.
Yeah, it's going to finish. Just give me a message.
That's the missus.
Okay, first this.
That's the missus.
Oh, hi. How are you? Okay.
Okay, why do you sound like you've lost your voice?
I haven't, sir. I'm just trying to not be loud.
Wow.
Hey, Dad,
Mm-hmm.
call me when you're finished. I will be in Babylon.
Okay.
I'm very serious.
I'm serious. I'm
Bye.
serious.
Okay, guys. Bye. What you call me?
Yeah.
Just tonight.
Okay.
I gotta make sure the place covers it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I would definitely agree with Kurt 150%. That's how I do it. I get a little turned off when people say about they waiting for the 1st of January. Why not just clock it tomorrow? Same thing with relationships. I don't want to hear about you on a relationship that lasts 5 years. You have to make it to the end of the day if you want to see the 5 years. So let's figure out how we taking those steps to the mile. And another thing, people like to bite off way too much. You want to go to the gym? Yes, I've seen this time and time over again. I walk, I gym, I run, I hike, I used to race cars, I save money, I read books. The biggest thing I learned from these habits is not to beat yourself up the day you cannot do it. Don't beat yourself up. There's always tomorrow, and if tomorrow doesn't come for that, that's also fine. Don't beat yourself up. I sometimes gym once a month, but you see, when I first started, 3-4 days a week. Then when I reach where I want to reach, because I actually reach a point where I'm contented with what I see in the mirror, I say, okay, I don't have to go as much, and then other things have to be done. So, yeah, be intentional and honest with yourself. If you know you beat up after the day, don't force yourself until you fall down, because the point of it is to have fun while you're doing it, while you're reaching your goal. If you do not enjoy it, no amount of willpower can get you to the end if you're not at least seeing some amount of progress and feel good at the end of the day. How I used to walk, I know at the halfway point, they have the man selling coconut. I go and drink a coconut, and that's my reward for the little walk. And I walk back at my room.
Hey, that's Hey, that's
Yeah.
This is my gym right there. This is my free weights. After so many years of 5 o'clock in the morning, physical workout, gym, running, singing kid. Nope, not doing it no more. Sorry. I always get, you need to go back to the gym. No. no, all right, I'm not doing it. So I got my bare gut, and I love it.
That's all right too.
You know, he said, I look at the man in the mirror, like,
And you're content to do what you see.
this is a sexy dude. And that bond, right? Look, I got a mirror from, about 6 feet tall. I'm like, damn, I look good. I feel, I don't feel good because the bones be doing some things sometimes. You bend over, it's like, okay. Yeah.
Not a little WD-40.
But no, seriously, it does work. No, seriously, man. You said be intentional. I think that's something that comes with age maturity. We have to be intentional
Yeah.
to do anything because, again, I hop around with different ideas in my head, like you said, right? And until you became intentional, that's when you got focused on one thing. So I think it goes hand in hand, intention, focus, and how you say laziness, or what's the reverse of laziness? Intentional focus and not being lazy. That's how you get to your goal. The resolution, I don't know you do resolution. I don't really do resolutions.
Yeah, I don't do resolution.
We'll talk about it all day, but
Action.
it don't really do it. I prefer to say a bucket list.
Right.
Now-
I wouldn't really call it a resolution. I would
It's-
have a list of things that
Yeah.
I want to target or that I think I would want to target for the year. And it's just like, I'm not saying that I'm not going to force myself to do them, but like, if it happens, it happens. And if it doesn't, then it's like, okay, what was the reasons why it didn't happen?
Yeah.
And then focus on trying to solve those things so that it can happen for the following year. Like, I'm not making it seem like this new year, new me, like that's BS. It's about making a list about the important things that you want to achieve for that year and working towards them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just the other day we were having this conversation. I think it was if you don't want to call it a bucket list, you want to call it goals. I was asked, "What's your bucket list?" And I said, "To be honest, I think I completed everything on my bucket list already." And they were looking at me like,
Create a whole new bucket list.
"Exactly, that's what we were getting at." And they were looking at me like, "How? You're barely 40 years old. How
Have you went ice skating?
I bust my ass, yes.
Okay.
But you've done it.
I've done it. Ask me if I'll do it again.
You do it again?
Hell no. Because when you fall on that ice, and it's not just your butt, it's
Trust
your
it,
palms.
it's easy,
It
boy.
hurts. It hurts
Not
real
me.
good.
Not if you please, she was a fairy in the background.
So so according to my wife, I need to create a new list. And the reason my list may have been short or completed because knowing where I came from, simple stuff as owning a house might be reaching for the stars. So I think we need to focus on new goals, new adventures, and be more deliberate and focused.
And now I know we live in a physical and materialistic society.
Yeah.
But how important is those materialistic milestones is as opposed to being complete as a human being?
It depends on the materialistic life milestone. Now, owning a house might be a material, right? But it's still a milestone that can be reached and not be looked at just materialistic. Earning a certain type of vehicle can definitely be materialistic, but at the same time. So it depends on how that person looks at it.
Yeah, the reason why I see it this way is again being intentional, like I said, is something I would say that this year was my closest to understanding the concept of being intentional. I'm not saying I'm 100% there. It's the closest. But what I'm taking from it is not so much for the results of it, but the fact that I understand the mindset of it is the ultimate important part. So the mindset approach in planning for or the whole concept of milestone and that kind of stuff, the mindset in my mind, maturing that is more important than the actual, what do you want to call the result of it. So getting the house and so on and so forth. But if you mature the mindset, if you feed the mindset,
Now,
if you feed that concept,
you know, one of the basic things about the mindset is understanding that you will get nothing if you put nothing into it. Simple. You can have the mindset. You could say, I need to get this, I need to get that. But there are people who have the hustler mindset, but they don't have the go get it mindset.
Yeah.
In the sense of they can see all the ways they can make money, but they're lazy. They don't have the I'm gonna only do 4 hours sleep tonight, but I know I'm gonna make the money. I'll do 5-6 hour sleeps for the rest of the night, and then I have a 2 hour night, and then I'll have an 8 hour night. You have to make the sacrifices.
They
to
don't
get
want
what
it.
you want.
Yeah, I was just about to say they don't
You
want
have
to make
to.
this.
now to piggyback and to continue our let's dialogue on it a little bit. I think that it's a little more than that. I think that sometimes you may have the brain to engineer the idea, and you need the motor to execute the idea.
Yeah.
So, for example, you may be brilliant at planning, and your partner, your significant other, like I would tell you, my yin and my yang,
Yeah.
is what they're going to be able to make that thing move. So you can't move it on
Or
your
motivate you to
own.
move.
So what we need to do as individuals in terms of maturing your mind, maturing your character, is understanding that you cannot do everything of your own.
You have to
Yes.
stick.
I'm being real, because sometimes we get into the idea that it's of your own and you could do it all of your own. But you're taking consideration that you need to have that partner. Not just that one partner, the relationships to mature it and get the things going. Look at our podcast. And if all of us have to just speak about the podcast and relate it to milestoning and planning and dedication and so on and so forth, we could see how it bears fruit, because
Yeah.
it expenses all of us, but it doesn't feel that way.
And we also enjoy doing it. It's something we enjoy. And a lot of the times people pick things or have ideas for things that they don't actively enjoy or like doing. So it's like they're doing it because they're only focused on the money part of it. They're not focused on the bigger outcome of what it could mean for you. And I think because all of us have an interest in wanting to make the podcast successful, why it's working out to be great. Like we are all intentional. I'm using your words. We are all intentional in wanting to set a time. What topics we talking about today? Make sure we film. We always checking in. It's not like you have people saying, yeah, they want to be on the podcast and they want to be a co-host with everybody else and then not showing up or not being available or always busy. They have too much stuff going on for them to make time for this. And the fact that all of us keep making time for this on a weekly basis, it shows that we are intentional with what we want to
Yeah,
happen for the
we're
year.
always busy for things we don't want to be a part of. So
But I remember last season, there was a night, I think all of us were tired, but we still showed up. We were not 100% in terms of our mental faculties and sharp because we all had a long day. But it's kudos to us for everyone still
Showing up.
We're showing up, we're coming to film, we need to get it done, and we go through. So, yeah.
Yeah. So that just means that sometimes whatever you're missing, if you know it's a character flaw,
Yeah.
seek it. Wherever you're weak, if you know there's a character flaw that is just not my personality, I just don't have that. That's just not me. You need to know it, identify it, and seek it. I think that's one of the things that I and that's part of being intentional again, because now you know, okay, well, boy, you know what? I'm terrible with money. I'm good with ideas. I'm good with things. I'm terrible with finance. Let me get somebody to help me with finance, or let me get myself in a situation to help me with finance. And I think that's what one of the things that I'm looking at in terms of maturing and growing.
Kurt, you ever read
you know-
Atomic Habits?
Funny enough, you know, I'm not a big reader.
Atomic Habits.
They have
Yeah,
ebooks.
because-
He
they
made
have
me read.
audiobooks, sorry.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
always
can-
unlike some other things.
you don't technically have to read it. It can be read to you and sleep.
Yeah, some of the things
No,
you
but I'm
see.
just saying you
in
learn
that
more
book.
when you're sleeping. Like that's how I used to
You
study
do?
sometimes. Yes, you do. Because for example, there are, not that I'm really trying to take away from the topic here, there are people that
I'm
have
interested
like,
in what you're gonna say.
no, seriously, they do have people that have really good dreams, and I've tested and proven this theory. There was not enough hours in a day for me to study for 2 different exams that happening on the next day. So I studied for one, recorded notes for the other one, or had recorded sessions or notes or whatever. And then I had a textbook. So there's different chapters that I wasn't really great with or wanted, sprucing up on just before the exam. So I listened to the recordings in my sleep. The next day I passed the test. A test I thought I was going to fail, by the way. so I'm just saying,
subliminal.
yes, I retained information. It's like when we
Science.
were watching that show From. I had a whole vivid dream the next day after that final season.
That's subconscious.
Yes,
That's
but
subconscious.
that's
the
different.
reverse. You're talking about the reverse.
But that's reversed now. But my point is, you can still get the essence of the book,
I get what you
even if you don't have the time to read the book.
So you're a dream walker?
Nah, sometimes.
Now, there's one thing that you mentioned a while ago, and there's another aspect to it. Sometimes what you think you're not good at, or what you think you don't want to do, and other people see it in you and push you to do it, you have to take that leap of faith. I'll tell you, for instance, I'm a shy person naturally.
You are?
I will, yeah.
Thank
I will
you.
take a little while.
I don't believe him when he says that.
All right, so if I meet someone for the first time, I'll take a little while to bring out my personality. If they are with someone that I'm comfortable with, it's easier for me to be with that person. I have to give kudos to a friend of mine, Danielle Dubois. When we first met, she wasn't one like, oh, your voice is this, your personality is this. Maybe you should try doing voiceovers, but maybe you should try doing these things. And I'm like, nah, that's not me. I'm a shy person. And she pushed me to do it. And I did a couple voiceovers. And everyone I did the voiceovers from, ranking at Dazzle Magazine and a couple other people, they're like, yo, you should. And then Nigel, being my classmate, we had a conversation on WhatsApp. Said, hey, you want to put me on the podcast? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try, but whatever. But I don't regret jumping. I landed on my feet. I'm comfortable now. And, it's only up from here.
Well, you see, and that's when people recognize it within your wheelhouse. What's as important is you recognizing for yourself what your limitations are. True. So I'm not talking about not going after things or attempting. I'm talking about when you have attempted and you recognize it's just not me.
Okay.
You understand? And sometimes you try to force it.
Yeah.
But it's just not you. So you need to get that. Part of maturity is the understanding that you can't do it all on your own and that you will need help.
Agreed.
And I think what we as individuals who want to be successful tend to do is to keep everything caged. You try to keep everything for yourself, right?
You can't be selfish. You have to.
Right. But then
Be a team player.
at the same time, though, given our society, you have to be very guarded.
I get being guarded, right? And picking the right persons on your team. Let's use the same sports analogy we was talking about earlier. You're only as good as your weakest.
Weakest link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, for the NBA, they be drafting players all the time and picking different players, trading players to here and whatever in order to make their team great, right? It's the same concept you have to use in terms of your life and certain things that you're trying to do. You're not gonna pick people that you can't grow with. You can't work together as a team. So it's kind of like you have to pick the right persons to help you elevate. Yes, it's trial and error, but the same goes for the NBA. They don't know that the picks that they pick are gonna be the right pick. It's not until the season starts and they see their players, they're like, wait, we're gonna have to trade this guy. He's not a team player. Or we're gonna have to get this guy on our team because we need to get these stats. We need to be here, and we're here right now. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like cooking. You have to trial and error. Throw a little something in there and see if it tastes good. And if it ain't tasting good, you just know not to do that again. Try something else another time.
Well, y'all say so many things. I had to put on my glasses to try and make some mental notes on some points I wanted to get back to, from materialism to character flaws. As a child, I never liked to read a lot. Ask anybody about me. Boy, you get notes in my book all kind of figure about atrociousness and whatnot. I like to talk, but I don't like to read. What got me into reading is I had to recognize that the stuff I was reading was not stuff I was interested in. Now, when I found something I was interested in, oh boy, you couldn't get me to put down the books. I signed up in the bank line, and I would be reading while everybody else doom scrolling in their phone and doing that mind rot thing. And I found it to be very good. Number 2, what I like about reading is you get to speak to people you would never come across. You can never meet because of distance and time. The person might have been dead already, just like listening to music, and you're just speaking to some intelligent minds or ghosts. Number 3, perspective is everything. I used to look at character flaws and I had to tweak what I think about character flaws. It's not flaws, it's just how people are. And not everybody good with money. It's not particularly money, but it's resources, time, what you expect from what you give. And in the words of Napoleon Hill is, you should not enter any arrangement if you cannot see it benefiting you and the person. A lot of us, we think you're trying to be smart and smug with people. You cheat people, you this and that. But the first person you cheat and lie to is usually yourself. Because the same way you're trying to cheat that person, you'll come into something that you're cheating yourself. You think you're thieving from that person. Like, let me give you a story about a little boy. I'm standing up in the bakery, real story. This little boy shoelaces untie. I'm like, young man, you should tie your laces, you know. He watched me. I don't know how to tie my laces. And then he skips off in the distance. I'm like, okay. So I talking to the baker and she's like, could you believe the boy? I said, well, if he fall on his face, he fall on his face because he think it's me fooling or he get one over because I asked him to tie his laces. He don't tie his laces when he fall. That's between him and his face. As simple as that. So you think you're fooling me, but I trying to see how I could help you. And you not interested in that. So be at peace.
So why didn't I this one?
Now you have to fall on his face. Then he learn how to tie
Who
his
don't
face.
hear must feel, eh?
People have to.
And people have to burst their
Who don't
face
hear
first
must
before they
feel.
check
There are some
themselves.
people
hard
that you
head,
could tell
make
them
a soft behind.
1,000 times, and until they experience it, they're not going to know that, hey, that's hot. I'm not supposed to touch that.
You know what's wild about that? Is that he could have been telling you the truth.
Nah, that look on his face and he didn't care.
Whilst it's nonchalant in what it is,
Yeah.
sometimes legit, he doesn't know how to tie his shoelace. It's possible.
Or is it that he's not interested in tying his shoelace?
But my greater point in that is that you had that exchange and you had that interpretation of the exchange. You understand? Was it the reality though? We would never know.
Point taken.
You understand? So whilst we again, he'll fall on his face and probably will learn to tie his shoelace.
Maybe you will.
Right? but the greater point I was making is that we leave the exchange with our understanding, not truly understanding really what really is the case. Because you don't know.
That look on them little child face when you know they bullshitting you as an adult.
And then he skipped off into the horizon.
Or maybe he was embarrassed to say he didn't know how to.
No, he was pretty proud and smiling to say he don't know how to tie his laces.
I just decided to ask you that question, not because I knew for a fact, just based on how you presented it as to whether or not you.
I don't know how
Hang on.
to tie my
This
laces.
this goes to 2 points that I was waiting to make. You mentioned it. Perspective of a situation or a scenario is key to a lot of things. In terms of sometimes what you think isn't, and vice versa. But we also have to trust our inner voice. And you know what? Black people have a thing saying, this person's spirit not going with me, or that situation doesn't feel right to me. That's your inner being speaking to you, letting you know that something about this scenario doesn't feel right or whatever it is. There are a lot of people that have gone through scenarios and just assume this is what has been said or been done, and it's completely different. And then the other aspect I was going to say, especially what you were saying about Kurt, is there's in a certain form of spirituality, there's something called shedding. And as you get older, you're supposed to shed. Unfortunately, 80% of the friends you grew up with, you're not going to reach 60 with. Either they're going to be dead, you'll have moved on in different parts of life, or whatever it is. The more we keep holding on to things that are deliberately showing you that they're going away, we tend to have calluses instead of new skin. And what do calluses do? It makes it more difficult to grip, to grab, to hold on, hurt, whatever it is. And you can get calluses in life. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Don't force don't force anything. If it's not organic or it doesn't feel smooth, slide away, move on, drop it, drop them, drop her, drop him, whatever it is. And you'll be surprised the dual-edged sword of or whatever and fuck it will make your life very, very simple. Anybody has anything else to say?
Yeah, when you're saying that, I was thinking about a friend told me, boy, he was with a girl he wanted, and then it just wasn't standing up. So I'm like, bro, that's your penis telling you. Leave her alone.
That's your other brain. Listen to it.
Yeah.
That's your spirit telling you, leave her alone. Don't beat yourself up. Leave her alone.
If she can't make you, let me leave that alone now.
So let me just ask in general, with all that being understood in terms of listening to yourself and how we have come out of not just this year. We use this year upon reflection, but in our maturity, our years in adulting, our years of existence, and what we've learned from it. If you had to, for those of us that have kids, impress upon our children so that you could help them, or not necessarily help or prevent them or force them not to go through those things, but to make the path smoother for them. What would be, what would you share with that child? What would you share with that person growing up to help them as a guide?
Two simple rules. One, you don't have as much time as you think you do. Two, ask for help from the right people. That's it. Nothing else. Very short, very simple.
I'll tell them, invest in your time. You're right. Your time is not what it seems, but invest in your time. The most common currency that we use and not pay attention to is our time.
Mm-hmm.
So invest in your time. In other words, our kids get out of high school, say, I'm gonna wait about a year and then go to college. No, do everything you gotta do now. Learn what you gotta learn now, so later on in life you can relax and not try to go back to school at the age of 40 trying to get a bachelor's degree or whatever like that.
Because
so invest in your time now.
The next minute you're 40 and
exactly.
What happened?
And that's one thing I learned. Invest in your time now, so later on you can relax. So that's what I'll tell a young man.
What are we talking about again? I'm just playing. I know what you're talking about. We're talking about if I had to go and tell the kids on how to make it easier. And that's just it. I don't think there is anything I can tell a child to make it easier because they have to figure things out for themselves. I know what I can do is make it harder by trying to make it easier with my perspective on this child in this new world. Every time you have a child or somebody dies, it's the world's way of adjusting and changing itself to whatever is going on. So listen to your daughter, listen to your son. Sometimes they really seeing something you're not seeing, and other times they really you just need to plant the seed in their head. If you try and make things too easy for them, you will end up making it harder for them. If you try and make it hard for them, it's usually as a result of trying to make it easy for them. That's definitely. And as for my experiences, take it as it comes. There's no such thing as inherent good and bad. The world doesn't care about you that much. Is what you think in your head. I've seen many people kill themselves over things that doesn't make sense because they're just living in their head. That's my contribution to it.
All right, so let me just add a little tidbit there. So my son is in grade 6 currently. My standard 4 teacher, well, my standard 2, 3, and 4 teacher is currently his tutor. And she
As in question I taught you.
taught me.
Okay.
Is currently his tutor, not his teacher, but he's currently his tutor. Because I believe it's important that he got the extra help. Not because he's bad at school, but he needs the extra help. And I think that the school system that I grew up in was a better school system that exists right now. That's just my opinion. But she said something to him that she never said to me, not because that she didn't know it back then, or probably she didn't know it back then, but she knows it now. And I pick up on it, and then I use that as a centerpiece for how I relate to him from an education standpoint and from a human standpoint. And what she said to him is, what is your goal in life? Your goal in life is to be a good citizen, right? Now, it's very simple words, but its meaning is deep in my mind. It could be anything. So, in me communicating with him consistently, when he does good at school, when he does good in terms of his personality, his character, I always ask him and remind him, what is your objective? And without fear and feel, he will recite to be a good citizen. Right? For me, if there is nothing that my son takes apart from that concept, I want that to remain. Because at least that way he has a seed, something implanted that will be able to resonate, that no matter what he goes through,
He can grow on.
whether or not it's academic or in his personal life, he could lynch through that his objective is to be a good citizen. That doesn't mean you don't make mistakes. That doesn't mean that you will not tell a lie. That doesn't mean that you wouldn't do those things. It just means that you have a focus point. And I think that as parents, I think that's what it is. And as I grow and I evolve, I want to become, and like I've been telling my lady as well, that I need to be a little different. Sometimes I have to listen to him, and not be that father.
Yes.
He knows more than I actually believe that he knows. And sometimes he could be right and I could be completely wrong. And we have to accept that as well, do that. I guess it's hard for us to accept because our parents didn't need to accept it, do it.
But that's one of the cycles we have to break.
One of the things I did with my son was I allowed him with respect to discuss with me what his issues are. So if I would say something to him and he would maybe have a problem with it, I would encourage him to say, well, Daddy, can I ask why? Or this, I don't feel comfortable with that. And we would have talks about it. And then I got better results by explaining to him my point of view. There are a few times he explained things to me and I'm like, oh, I understand. Okay, I was wrong for that judgment. Let's see how we can work this out or whatever it is. And one of the things that I think is that was a bridge in the gap of my generation and his generation. We grew up in a generation as do as I say, not as I do, and you were getting corrected. Yeah, we became older and you understood your parents then as you get older, but in the time, you sometimes hated your parents. And then with the newer parents who let the kids do everything, which is I'm not on that parenting style. And I think that discussion bridged that gap and made it easier for him to be comfortable talking to me and his mother about whatever it was going on. But when girls got involved or when he had issues at school that he came to tell me about, he felt comfortable opening his mouth, even if he was a shy kid.
That's crazy. Any other tidbits on that?
So all kids generally go through the same phases with regards to their parents. We spend a lot of time speaking about how we feel towards our kids, but there's the other side. In the younger days, they will idolize you, try and mimic you, do everything what you do until they reach teenage. And it is said the kids will demonize you, question everything you say, talk back to you, try and find their own way, try and run away from you. And then the final phase is where they would humanize you and they make their own mistakes and recognize, boy, I think that person was doing the best they could for their circumstances.
That's what mommy was telling me about. That's what Daddy was trying to show me.
Yeah. And that's the average. They still have some sick fucks in the world that just not supposed to be parents at all, or
Yeah.
too much on the other side. But that's the general curve of parenting from a child perspective.
But you said it earlier, and the irony of life is some of the best people have come from a very fucked up upbringing.
Oh yeah.
You understand? Because diamond can't be made without pressure and heat.
Yeah.
You understand? Sometimes it's bad pressure, sometimes it's good pressure, but some of the wealthiest people, some of the most resilient and persistent people in life, when they tell you about their upbringing, you'll be like, yo, like, how did you survive that? But that was their fuel to become who they were, or who they are, I should say. So, there's a lot of perspectives to things like that.
I heard something a while back, and I can never repeat it word for word because I didn't say it. It says, my father walked. I rode the bus. My son will drive a Cadillac. His son will drive a Ferrari. And my great-grandson will walk again. And that is so true because, like you said, some of the richest people in the world come from hellacious backgrounds. And some of these poor guys on the road, homeless, you sit down and talk to them, they'll tell you, I was an investment banker. I was this, I was that. I won the lottery and now I'm broke. Because they have this thing to them, or if you want to call it a pedestal or a soapbox, they just don't want to get down until they're forced down.
Too late.
Exactly. Prime examples of people like that, T-Pain. Everybody know who T-Pain was. There's a story about T-Pain wanted to buy a Bugatti. And he almost lost his house over the Bugatti. Allen Iverson being broke, and his wife said, look, I still got about $70,000 put away after he was broke. That brought them back to where they need to be. And then you have the owners of Amazon that started in his garage, and look at him now, richest man in the world.
Selling books, eh?
Yeah. So, some people tell us we live in the past, but kind of have to live in the past to shape your present, to make your future different. And I know somebody will disagree with me, as we can see she's already disagreeing. But you have to understand where you come from to know where you're going to.
Yeah. If it just has your past should not be the anchor.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
It should not be an anchor. It should not be where your mind constantly reverts to, because we've said it multiple times in the podcast, is that your body does not know the difference between reality and when your mind is thinking of reality. Whatever your mind is experiencing, your body is like, this is real right now. So for instance, people who go through things like near-death experience or rape, you have to go to therapy to reset your brain and tear that tether, because every time you think about it, your body thinks, your heart races, you get cold palms, your mind goes fractured because your body thinks, what, we're almost dying again, we're being raped again. So like you're saying, is that we have to make sure that looking back is retrospective and not an anchor.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I had a near-death experience as a child. One actually saved me. Almost drowned at Pigeon Point Beach. I lost consciousness, all kind of thing. I might be dreaming right now. Who knows?
I'm gonna hang about you, man.
Pinch yourself.
And to what Kevin said, I would say I'm deaf to the past in every moment, because I'm going to describe a scenario and you tell me what it is. We're conditioned to react to future circumstances by things we saw in the past. What is that called?
Engineering.
One word. Let's give me one word for it.
Deja vu.
Engineering.
Engineering deja vu. What do you say, Femi?
Deja vu.
It's called karma.
Or that.
Yeah, it's karma. So you accustomed of doing things a certain way and you'll get the result all the time because that is your own doing. That's the Western definition of karma. So if you're accustomed of doing things one way like I did in the past, don't be surprised when you continue getting that same result over and over again.
I'll disagree slightly, but I'll tell you why. So in that aspect, if you continue doing the same thing, and let's just say you're a scam artist, you keep scamming, scamming people, eventually you'll scam the wrong person, and you'll get what someone will do you something, or you go to
So
prison.
what is that? That's your karma.
But there are people who have done things, have checked themselves, and corrected things in life, and they still struggle or shit still happens to them because you still have a karmic debt to pay.
Yeah, you have to get over the momentum
You understand?
of your past life, and the
your past.
momentum can be heavy.
But using that same analogy of using your past to predict your
Past condition your mind
Right.
to react to the future.
wouldn't you see that qualifies as when you finally break the code as to how to be successful, for example? That's the actual process that you go through. So in other words, you figured out, okay, this will make me money, or this is the way I'm going to make the money. You understand? And you use that to make money in the future. So it could be a good and a bad.
That is still your karma.
Yeah, it could be a good and a bad. I just feel that sometimes what is more important is your minds. Well, again, we're going back to the mindset in terms of whether or not it is something that is being to not just to benefit you as an individual, but out of goodwill. So the intended purpose of it. So, for example, let's just say the Robin Hood concept. Robin Hood concept is steal from the rich, give to the poor. Right?
Give back.
Stealing is bad in general. Stealing is bad in general. We're not going to say that stealing is something. But what's his intention of ill intent?
Well,
It was for a good
that
cause,
is a
in a
very
sense.
was it philosophical question?
Have you ever tried to give poor people anything?
That's what I was about to say, because the first thing you said, there's two mindsets that can come out of that. There's people who learn to ignore the signals that trigger them and become successful. And there are people that rewire their brains to see no triggers. If you understand what I'm saying. So you can be someone that has anxiety, and like Jason is saying, things in your past have trained your brain to see how things will be in the future. So something's happening and you just, oh my God, this is happening again. And there are two people that will just, all right, you know what? I'm going to ignore this. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to allow myself to get anxious. And there are people who will be like, no, that's not what I'm seeing. I've taught myself to see it for what it is and not having any reference. You understand?
Oh no, man. Robin Hood, it feels like UWP SLP kind of thing.
What?
or even
politics,
Democrats.
no
or whatever.
politics.
I feel like that's
No
dumb. No,
politics.
I'm not bringing politics. I'm just saying, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Isn't that what politicians kind of started out doing? But no politics.
No. Well, I mean, I said you could look at it. You could look at the concept in terms of another. You could use another reference. The road to evil is paved with good intentions, right? Right. So that's another reference that we could utilize. So when you look at when you start looking at those elements and you start talking about people and character and how they get to positions and how they get to those places, you have to take in consideration that what we are seeing in terms of the result, the outpour, what we're seeing presently, and what we are criticizing or judging, right? We have no understanding as to what the backstory is. We have no understanding as to what the difficulty and the situation that probably they may have endured. So we have to be careful with that too.
Here's one of my philosophies of life, or one of my understandings of life, I should say. Whatever is wrong, whatever is right. But there might be different levels. So in the sense of, if you realize this banker is overcharging interest and robbing the people, and you or we, as a Robin Hood crew, rob them and go scatter the riches in the hood, right, and in the forest. Versus there is a good citizen who has saved his money, who has millions of dollars, and we go rob him. Both things are wrong. Both things we have a karmic debt to pay. I think it's just on different levels. Yeah. I think if you do it like you rob the banker who you know is a shitty person and is doing that, whatever, and you give back to the poor, you offset it. But the fact that it is still theft.
Maybe
It's not
he had
your
good
right to
intentions
do it.
and then got
The
hurt.
good intentions, the road of evil.
Yes, I just feel that at the end of the day, that what we have to do is just live with choices. And sometimes what we cannot explain and what we are quick to judge, we should just leave in a space because we do not have the full understanding. And it's okay for us to have an opinion on something, but at the same time, we have to leave room to recognize that that person, that individual, might be going through what they're going through. And we ought not to allow ourselves to be so invested.
Yes.
You understand? In what, like, okay, for example, you see a heinous, we go a good example. Remember that video we watched and I shared about the mother who was beating a child in a violent manner. And I said that if I had an opportunity, I would have put my hands around her throat. Yeah, I would have immediately in that situation, that's what I would have done. But my character would allow me now that, okay, having seen it happen, to react and process things a little differently. You understand? I would now say, okay, that woman probably traumatized. That woman probably, my rational sense will come through.
You know what they do to people who are in shock or have extreme anxiety? They slap them. They shock your system back to reset. She's going through, like you say, she's going through trauma, whatever it is. Yeah. Or a slap her. Not to hurt her or to abuse her, but because whatever she was going through or whatever she might have been going through had her brain snapped. So sometimes you have to reset them. And that's for everybody. I'm not talking about men, women only, and people before you think.
I will look for that video and we'll insert it for reference.
Okay.
Right? And I think that will take me to our next segment. Something that you saw, astonishing, amazing, great, good, bad, that stuck with you out of 2025. What would have been that good reference, that TikTok? We like our TikTok videos now.
Oh, that's difficult.
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. That had the waves going for a while, like months on end. And honestly speaking, like people was just doing like dumb things in videos and just using that trend behind the whole video scene. But
There's another one. Emotional damage.
yeah.
Just doing something like somebody falling off, walking their phone and falling down in a hole. Emotional damage. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
All right, for me, I was racking my brain, and I think the one that stands out to me, and it's not only for this year, but it repeats for me, is that I am amazed and proud of the creativity of our social media creators on their memes and videos and comics. As soon as an event happens in this country, within hours,
WhatsApp news.
within hours, Shaq Fu, all these fellas, St. Lucia Digital, and all these guys that have memes and videos and cartoons.
And stickers.
Noah Seas and these fellas have things on point. And the talent that St. Lucia has amazes me. And especially the IQ that we have, that we can get things and they put a twist on it. They have different things, is one of the things that I think always gets to me.
Shut up. Okay, all right. We're not going down that road today. Okay.
What were this up?
You know exactly what you wrote? Because I see you put your drink down, I see you took and opposite already. Just leave it alone. All right.
Don't hold too well. Oh, partner.
I'm
Wow.
not sure what he's talking about, but
You're not too sure what I'm talking about? What did Carol say that trigger you?
nothing. Carol triggered me up. Carol never triggers me.
No, when I think trigger you, something you said, I don't think Carol triggered you. Right? But I know it's something that we had a discussion about. That's why I tell you shut up and leave it alone.
Oh, we had a lot of discussions. Eh?
So, check two holidays, yours.
Yes, that's what I'm sticking to.
What's the standout gist?
For me, is that Chinese guy that sells LED signs and he does a Donald Trump impression.
Can someone tell me what MAGA men find attractive so that I can wear the complete opposite? Thanks.
No need, you nailed it. China, China, China. Get your LED sign with factory price in China. LC sign is 15 years of experience and certifications like CE, UL, and ISO. We offer free designs, quotes, and mock-ups, plus drop shipping. Save time on orders and get it all done quicker. Start your project today and follow LC sign.
That guy, well, this just cracked me up.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one and Big Dink.
You good?
Good morning.
What's going on? Nice to meet you.
Hi.
How are you?
Stormy.
Hey, King. How you, brother? You good? Nice to meet you, Kings.
Yep. This the only seat y'all got?
What you want? What you need?
A bigger chair or something.
Is she already little? You sure?
We had
That's what I'm talking about. Good. This is the accommodation.
there you go.
No.
You said the chair was too small, so we had to bring the part of the sectional for you to sit in. And you said something. You said, now this is what I'm talking about, accommodations, right?
Yes.
But we live in a world that's not always going to be able to accommodate people that
But
are
we
plus-
should, though. We should, because we not all the same, you know? Bigger people should be accommodated, just like we accommodate the LGBT community.
Who?
Big Dunk. Yeah, Big Dunk.
No,
I heard a different
dig
thing.
big. What? It's called dig bit. Dig big.
They basically just switched
So
the
just-
two letters.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the lift girl. That's what you're talking about?
Oh.
Oh.
That suit lift.
Oh.
Yeah, that try to sue lift. That's just ridiculous.
Somebody else. You mentioned somebody else.
What's the other person I mentioned earlier? There are so many memes on Facebook, eh? Oh, yeah. What stood out to me was this last one I keep telling everybody, I have to watch Reckoning by 50 Cent. That P. Diddy documentary.
Yo.
We're losing.
Netflix releasing never-before-seen video of Sean Diddy Combs filmed just days before his arrest on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering in 2024. The footage is part of a 4-part docuseries, Sean Combs: The Reckoning, premiering Tuesday.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figured most journalists would not disclose their sources.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. Perhaps.
Combs' team firing back in a statement to NBC News, saying the Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to Netflix.
Your favorite villain? My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy. When people say I'm a troll, I say, I don't know why you're saying I'm trolling people. I'm doing what you've conditioned me to do.
It's in the watch list. We're watching that this weekend.
That thing is funny as hell. May have problems, he may have issues.
Yo,
Straight.
big up 50 Cent still, because
It's not 50 Cent. It's not, I think P. Diddy wanted to get caught because all what I see him do, I just keep thinking, I cannot believe Mitt record himself doing that.
But you see, he was actually setting up himself for a documentary after he beat the trial cases.
Yeah.
So all the video 50 Cent had, he bought it from the person or the people that were recording for him. So all the stuff that he was recording that was supposed to be his, like, I beat it, I'm back, actually turned out to be the nails in the coffin that 50 Cent was putting.
Well,
No, that was
he
not
took
50
He took a
Cent.
page out of R. Kelly's book. Man. He did everything R. Kelly did. I know some more. We never thought anybody could come out and be better. not be better, but be worse than R. Kelly. But
Nah, it's a regular thing. What I recognize with them is when they get away, they double down.
Oh yeah,
because they figure I got away, I could get away.
Now,
Puff was quadrupling down, man.
But now we gotta figure out, if he in the Epstein files and did
He doesn't have to be in Epstein
did
files.
Bubba really get hit? That's what.
No, but what I was saying that big up 50 Cent for is that the man, I just love how he literally just have a beef with somebody and it could be for the smallest thing, but he ain't backing down until everybody know what this beef is about type thing. And he legit was openly saying that he made sure that he had an interview on the news station that is the only news station that shows in the prison.
So he can
just
see
so
it.
P. Diddy could see that shit. Like, you had to be real sick and vindictive to be like, to think of this master plan to be like, yeah, I'm gonna get this mofo today. Like, seriously?
I don't think 50 Cent had a master plan.
Yo,
Grudge, you see
50 Cent,
50
Cent is
No,
a
not
man
grudge.
that was whole of grudge.
Yeah,
He is petty Betty boy. Real talk.
My favorite 50 Cent story is when
he's a businessman.
my favorite 50 Cent story is when he filed bankruptcy to make sure his ex-wife don't get anything.
Yeah, man.
Yo, I tell you, the man is a real G.
But back to PDD, I don't think it was that hard for anybody to push him because they had that Orlando Bloom guy. He a little nuthead, but he was talking about PDD from time. So nobody believed him. Then 50 Cent was talking about him. He was like, boy, that guy trying to buy me this and that. And apparently it was a known secret for a long while. I watched the whole Cassie Ventura thing. And what I would say about her is that she was in it until she wasn't in it. And then she tried and play victim after. She was definitely into it. And then at some point it changed. But he figured
I
he
mean, at
had
some
the
point.
control.
So you don't think dragging her off the whole floor of a hotel room
No, that was
and abusive.
that was when
is
she was
not-
trying to get out of it.
Off topic.
That's when she was trying to get out of it.
But okay, but I don't think I don't know.
Jason's thing is the Chinese guy. What else? The Puff Daddy documentary.
And Big Dink.
Big Dink.
Big Dink.
You.
Kevin.
Talk to me.
Big what?
Big Dink.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone, man.
Just look up Charlemagne.
I know what you're talking about. but
Breakfast Club Big Dunk.
I know what you're talking about. She doesn't fill out the crack stab or whatever. Ooh, emotional damage.
Yeah.
Yo, that one I got him. That one of those two videos will forever be my favorite ones. There were times in the year when I was feeling kind of down, whether it was an argument or just in my feelings. I'll get on these videos, and it usually be the Spanish people, right? And they have these videos where they put like a fake mummy on somebody that was sleeping, or while they're sleeping in a hammock,
Or the spider or something.
or the spider, and they will put like you'll be sleeping, or they'll do some ignorant stuff.
Spider on face prank.
Mommy, the car's in charging. Mommy, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Oh, is it done?
Yes.
Like firecrackers on you, let you think you're getting shot. And the people would just lose their minds, jumping on it, like, doing all kinds of fun stuff. I was getting my kicks and bringing myself up off of somebody else's misery, so I'd say. But those videos were my favorite videos throughout 2020.
Well, I will highlight three creators for me, or well, three standouts for me personally. Certified Samson for sure. That's the training.
Yeah, that's the Trinidad guy.
Good afternoon.
Easy girl, on my couch.
Man, you got a big van. Come, me knock on the door, I open it. He take the couch, because he say you never pay for it.
You open the door for people. I tell you about open door when you don't know who it is.
Then they want to buy gift, and they buy nothing for me. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
I love to see all your suffer.
Wait, where we going and sit down?
Baby, relax, relax.
Tell me to relax, you know. I tell you to paint and you never paint on me.
I have a coach, you know. Tell your wife she can come and sit down on it. In the right thing. Wait, hush your ass now, boy. Hush your ass. Say it again. Oh. Will you report on today? Give me where you have. Give me where you have.
Hey, don't do that dance. Wait, what?
I never see a repossession so fast after Christmas. Pay your bill.
Go inside and sit down for me.
Where you want some?
Hey, don't play no smart ass for me, boy.
Give me where you have. Give me where you have. Give me.
Kind boss.
Yeah.
That's another training.
Hilarious.
Right?
You look good, look good. You may hang out with you by your child, Bunks.
Oh, man, will you? Ezekiel want to you, boy?
Bunks, man.
You can't be crossing the road and not looking. And your attitude too, boy?
Here, I'll tell you. Watch where you're driving, right? Watch where you're driving. Where you going? Where you going?
You feel I forget my passport, huh? You feel I forget my passport? Next time, watch the road when you're crossing and tell man he call me if you have a problem.
Oh, man, it's a new guy who had a coffee shop with the big shopping, ugly shopping face. He hit me. Because I was crossing the road, but I wasn't looking. Where are we good? Okay.
And J. Lee. That's free trainees.
Yeah.
Right? Big up the trainees.
See, champion, you gotta make sure you clean up your place for the Christmas, right? Wash up them ways, you know. You know why we can't get... No, but it's... But no, I said, let's have millionaire. Some growing up trees in this house. You're on baby, oil on it. You're a young Diddy. Everything that's slipping out your hand. When the sense in you washing the ways? When you can just mash up all the ways and you don't wash it again. Mash up my next one. Bring your next one. Mash up my next one. He's a lunatic. Now tell me, break the glass. I break the glass, no one get in trouble. Chop your cat and not take my money. Look to clean up that mess, please. I'm at a fact clean up this whole house. Hey, which my mother, that's why I'm man, boy. So I get you a good stepfather, boy. You want a stepfather? Your mother will never find a next man. She has 2 years like you.
They have it down pat in terms of relating to Caribbean life.
Facts.
Right? So, if you know, you know. Those 3 guys have it locked down.
Don't forget Rasta Dog.
One of them is that ball guy with that one. In the trainees.
Yes. That's the one I have champion, the Sun champion. That's J. Lee. Right? But outside of that, you know what really did it for me on social media, especially on TikTok? The potluck videos.
Oh, the potluck video.
Yeah.
I bought the deviled eggs and the strawberry crunch cake. Yeah.
Now, due to the fact that it was brought to the court's attention that eggs in America are being sold at the same price as cocaine, the court will not attack you for the portion size. So the court finds you innocent of all charges. You are free to go. Next.
Alright, I'm Leslie and I brought the baked beans home later. Because, the baked beans.
Nigga, I thought that was sangria.
The candy yams. And the green beans. Yeah.
And we will nail your lawyer to a wall and set him on fire.
The balloon popping thing?
No. Where you go to the party, and everybody come. Yeah, those videos.
And they grading it.
Yeah. Your Uber driver walk the plank. Right. Yeah. So those videos didn't come in.
For me, one of the funny ones is the Bushman, Texas Bushman, or the Bushman videos where the guys have the flower pot and they have the ghillie suit that looks like a tree, and when people pass by,
they move.
Boy, people
jump out at them.
Drop their phones, and you can see genuine terror. And then there's the other guys that do they're like the memes, not the memes, the mimes, but they're the statues, so they've painted themselves, and they're still, and people will sit down, all of a sudden they move. Those for me were like you could see the genuine terror in people's minds, and like the confusion, all the emotions flash in a second.
So I just pulled one up. I'm passing it around.
Oh, yes. I've seen
Rasta
that.
Monkey.
Rasta Monkey.
Is Rasta Monkey. Yeah. And Jamaican Dog.
Talking about the AI. We're using the Rasta Monkey, understanding that we know it's AI. Do you know what another trend was? whereby you realize that the AI got so advanced that they were using the voices of popular stars who never said certain things, and they made it seem very positive. So, for example, you'll see Denzel Washington giving you a motivational quote, or somebody giving a motivational quote. I think, in my mind, that level of, at least for me personally, that level of deception, I call it deception.
It is deception.
Because at the end of the day, you're giving people, whether or not the words might be substance, the fact that you're using somebody as the orator of those words, it makes it not genuine in my mind. And you see,
It isn't, because you're getting people to watch it based off the premise of, hey, I know this voice. And then they begin to believe whatever it is that is being told to them, whether it's real or not, because it's this famous person. So you feel it's real rather than it being fake. I'm not saying that the message could have been a bad one. It could have been a good one for all we know. But my point is the fact that you're using AI in a deceptive way, you are legit making people believe something that they wouldn't have normally believed if it was just, say, an average person like myself saying these things.
now as we close up the year, this is a good point for us to end the podcast because we know what we're going to be doing in 2026. We know what our first episode will be. Right?
Yeah, our first topic is us versus AI.
Yeah.
And as for that AI, that's what AI stuff. When I see those videos where they use a person voice, it's very uncanny valley for me. So it kind of sounds real, but it's a little uneasy for me. And I could always pick it up and say, yeah, that's not the person. That's an AI voice. I don't like those. I don't like those at all. Another two honorable mentions for favorite videos is Genuine Dancing in his old
his old age. And then
Yo, I knew it was a piece of shit that I saw him at Jansen, which I was like, that's made in real life. Nah. No, the rest of the world had to catch on. And shit, the other one was just in my head. I can't remember it. Genuine Dancing. And oh yeah, there's a video of some rednecks at the back of a truck. And then the police just could be bothered with them. And the guy tried already, cannot run. And then he's on the comm saying, they're doing some redneck shit. And you can see him driving off in the back of the van. I've just that video for you to post it. That video is just stupid. I cannot explain it.
Guys, so we're wrapping up the year. All right. Final words. Everybody, who started?
Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
Emotional damage. So, wow. Keep moving. Take the rearview mirror off. Stop looking in the back. Keep looking forward. Keep aiming. Have, what did you say? The focus. What did you say earlier? The intention. Have the intention. Be intentional on your goals. Don't bullshit. Don't see me Gwen. Be intentional. Focus and get there. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be tough. But if you stay focused and intentional, you will get there.
Yeah, I would say I'm not an influencer. And going forward, understand that everybody's path is not the same. What might work for me might not work for you. A lot of things don't work for me, and I don't have light skin luck.
I rebuke that statement.
No, we discussed that in what, episode number 3?
We discussed in the episode.
I still rebuke that statement.
Well, he doesn't have shabby looks. Then. How about that?
I still rebuke that statement.
And
anyways, continue.
Yeah, that is it for me. It's been a good year. We're all still alive. We're all still here. As for materialism, definitely we're going to leave everything behind. So be careful of that. Everything we have is just for a time. Everything's going to change. Not even our mind we're going to keep. We're going to return it all to the earth. You can look at it as a sad thing or a revolution. Happy 2025, 2026, yo.
Yep. So I'm going to edit my bucket list, add some things on there that I think I need to focus on for the
Drink
upcoming
2
year.
minutes.
And I will leave you with this. My goal in life is to die with memories and not dreams. So I'm focusing on making memories, good ones where I could have stories to tell, ones where stories can live on, and, just be happy overall, because at the end of the day, that's our main focus. You don't want to be thinking about all the things that you dreamt of doing and never did. So I'm going to write down all the things that I want to have on my bucket list and try work on those one by one for the upcoming year. And if I don't make it work for that year, it will be on for the next one. But that's the focus.
Replace the bad with the good. Closing off the year, going into 2026, remove toxicity and negative traits in your life or negative thoughts. Don't be self-destructive. Remove jealousy and anger. If someone is doing something better than you and that's the direction you want to go in, ask a question. If someone is doing good in life, don't be a crab in a bucket because you're stagnant and they're not. If you want to move, put your hand out, ask for a handout. Remember, everything carries an energy of vibration. And like they say, when you hold on to things, you're only hurting yourself. Enjoy your 2025. I wish everyone the best in 2026.
All right, that's a good conclusion. Wishing everybody happy new year, everybody. Toast.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be on this podcast with everyone in this room. Friends, family, new friends, new acquaintances. I didn't know a couple of you all at the start of the year, and my life is a little better now that I know you all. It was already good before.
I'm happy I made a few
Cheers to that.
cameos. I'm happy that I made a few cameos.
Yes. Our extended grown folks family.
Yeah.
Grown Folks Only Podcast.